G'day fans of the PPL, it is the Verd, back here with you again, and we are here for week 3 of the D1 Power Rankings. Of course, I'm not alone, I'm joined by my lovely co-host Trev CL.
Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Trev CL, and yeah, we are here for week 3 of the Power Rankings.
Alright, so you guys know how this works. We're not going to go into too much detail on it. Basically, we're going to rank the 12 teams on how they've been performing so far in the 3 weeks of the season, and we're going to start with the bottom ones, and we have the exact same bottom 3. I feel that with the Bills and the Sneasels, like, they're both just still, you know, they're getting there. Do you see them in the future moving up from there at all, Trev?
Well, one thing I do see is that Will did pick up his first win, and the reason why Will didn't move up quite, at all is just because his win just so happened to be against Jordan and his Sneasels. So if Will can just continue to win against some of the higher opponents in these rankings, then I can definitely see him moving up a lot. He just needs to win against those higher ranking opponents.
Speaking of someone with a win against a higher ranking opponent, we do still have Colton and the Melbourne Victory Stars chilling in 10th place, coming off a loss this week, I believe, against Kelly. And I guess it's a bit of a step back into reality for him, but I do think there is a lot of potential with the team that he has to be able to, perform really well with it. And I think although he's 10th now, there is potential for him to move up a bit higher in the future.
Yeah, I definitely think that his win against Shadi proved that he can compete with the higher ranking opponents. He just needs to, be consistent when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah, I apologize. I accidentally said Colton there. Colton is the coach of the Two Cannons, not the Victory Stars. Very, very sorry about that one. I guess also to point that the Victory Stars also had a really good game against Jolt earlier. I believe it was week 2. No, it was week 1. When did he play? Is this the guy with the Sun team?
Yeah, so he won week 1 against Jack in the Norch Skitty. And
yeah, I got mixed up between Colton and the Victory Stars because Colton did beat Shadi week 2, and then week 2 the Victory Stars narrowly lost to Jolt. So apologies from my end, that was a bit of confusion there. We are going to move on here to 8th and 9th. Trevor and I have them around a different order, but they're basically, we feel, in the same kind of area. Two teams that are both 1 and 2, the Two Cannons and the Wingulls, the Birds. And, I mean, I just have Paul above because, and this isn't like a bash on Colton, I think both of them are phenomenal battlers, but I think Paul has a better chance of finishing a bit higher this season. I feel that his team is just really strong. Yes, he had a couple of bad weeks. We all have bad weeks. That's happened to us before. Like, I remember a time when a young Trev CL started like 0-3 in a league and still made playoffs. Well, I know there's not playoffs in this league, but regardless, like, he was able to, make something of a bad situation. So I do think Paul is the kind of player that can do that. Not to say the Two Cannons can't also perform really well. I just see the Wingulls right now being the better 1 and 2 team. But what do you think, Trev?
Yeah, Paul definitely played the way he needed to pick up his first win against Eric and the Seattle Onyx. The reason why I have Paul at 9th instead of 8th is just because I felt that it was just his first win, and it was against Eric, who was kind of struggling playing wise up until the latter half of the battle. So I want to see some more wins from Paul, especially against some higher ranking opponents. I believe he plays Jolt next week. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. So if he can win that, he'll definitely move up a lot in my rankings.
Well, talking about moving up in the rankings, we have the Seattle Onyx currently chilling in 7th place. And we have, I guess, we can talk about, but we can almost do this like 2 teams at a time, really. We got the Norwich Skitty sitting just above them there. Obviously, the Skitty coming off that really, I found it to be a surprising win of a Jolt. Not to, bash on the coach. I just, watching the battle, it was kind of crazy how it went down. And then also talking about the Onyx, obviously we talked about how they did end up losing to the Wingulls. So, 2 very big results there. I think, for Eric and the Onyx, like, it's just a little bit of a setback, but he can definitely bounce back next week and move on. But that's a really big win for the Norwich Skitty, Trev.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just going a little bit into the battle, Jolt was expecting something different than what Jack ended up bringing, and it ended up working out great for Jack. And going back to the Seattle Onyx, the first 2 weeks I actually didn't like the way Eric played, but this week I, especially in the latter half of the battle, he played very, very well, and that's why I still haven't dropped him too terribly much. But unfortunately, if he continues to pick up losses, I will have to start dropping him lower and lower in the rankings until he can win again.
yeah, Eric and Paul are like my two guys right now that I'm like backing to have good like progression through the season here. Like they probably shouldn't have them this high still, but yeah, we have a bit of faith in these boys. But moving on to the very top half now, and we have obviously Jolt and the Toronto Raptors. They did come off their loss against Norwich City. Like you said, it was just a little bit of not really misprep because it was more Jolt just expecting something else and having to kind of handle that, and unfortunately he didn't handle it in the best way. He kind of explains that in his video, but honestly it's a minor setback for Jolt. I think it's a really big week next week though against the Wingulls. He either goes to 3-1 or 2-2, so that's a massive week for Jolt there.
Yeah, and the drop, he was number 2, I believe, in my week and number 1 in yours, so the drop might seem a little harsh, but just because of the people we felt above him in the top 4, their wins and the way they played in the third week, we felt that putting Jolt at 5 wasn't too terribly harsh, as his loss was kind of a 3-0 loss against, or a 3-1 loss, my bad, does kind of hurt him, and definitely kudos to Jack for getting a good win over someone like Jolt.
Yeah, I think the reason why it's like hard with Jolt dropping out, it's just that there's realistically, I think right now 5 teams that are very, very top tier. Like they've been so far, these first 3 weeks have been very impressive, performing exceptionally well. And we're going to talk about 2 of them right here, because obviously you guys know who probably the top 2 are going to be. But in 3rd and 4th, again, we have them around in a different little order. I've got the Torterrapins over the Luxrays, you've got it vice versa. So why do you feel Mono so far this season has performed a little bit better than Kelly?
Well, the reason why I have Mono over Kelly, like just right now, is it goes back to their week 1 match. Mono was able to beat Kelly ahead, and I think that's the very slight margin that separates them for me right now. Obviously, if Kelly had beat Mono, then it would be the other way around. And also, while Kelly did win his last week and Mono lost, there was a little bit of unfortunate hacks against Mono, and he did play the number 1 team in the Cleveland Bros. So I felt it was okay, even though the results from week 3, Kelly came off very strong. Mono, I felt, still had a very, very strong week 3 showing, and if Mono can continue to play like that, he'll surely get more wins out of games like that than losses, unlike his week 3 performance.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Kelly over for a couple of reasons. One of them, I guess, is that currently they both have the same record, but Kelly does have a slightly better differential, so that has put him a bit higher than Mono just on like the league table. But I guess the other thing is I just like having a little point of difference. Like there's not really that much separating these two guys. Like yes, in the head-to-head, Mono did beat Kelly, but Kelly has been performing ever since that game. Kelly has performed exceptionally well in every game that he's been in. So between that, I think both of them, are very deserving of a top 4 spot, and I see both of them being very competitive for the entire season. Could see them maybe creep into the 1 and 2 spot, but for now, the 1 and 2 spot are occupied by obviously Shardy at number 2, and there is no doubt that Ruby is at number 1 right now to start the season. Shardy shrugged off the loss from week 2 and got back to his normal ways, and honestly performed really well. What do you think of the game, Trev?
Well, it was definitely a very close game. I believe it was actually 3-1. Shoddy was down at one point, but he did have his trusted Charizard X to back him up. It was a very, very, very bulky set. Actually, I used very a lot there, but that's just to explain how bulky the set was. And it was actually able. Thick. It was very thick. It was able to 1v1 a defensive Bulu with Stone Edge, and I think that Jack's play there was to probably keep on Stone Edging, because I feel like he had a better chance of winning if he had continued to hit Stone Edge, and he went for Leech Sheet, which he ended up missing. Ironically enough, you missed the Leech Sheet but hit all your Stone Edges. But yeah, Shoddy pulled out the very narrow win, and it was definitely a very, very good game. If you have not checked it out yet, you should definitely check it out. But Shoddy really impressed me with that win, especially after a heartbreaking loss like the one against Colton. So that is why I have Shoddy still at number 2.
For sure. But obviously there is only one person we could put at number 1. Yes, there was a bit of contentious hacks in his game against Mono, but I mean, everyone, hacks is just a part of the game. You just have to kind of move on from it. It happens. And that doesn't sour the fact that, Ruby is 3-0, performing exceptionally well so far this season. Were you expecting this right at the start with the team that he had, Trev? Because I know we both had him in the top 4, but did you expect after 3 weeks for him to be the number one team?
Well, with the team, I thought he could do it, but looking at his first 3 opponents, I believe he's had Mono, Eric, and Paul. I did not expect him to beat all 3 of those guys, so definitely unexpected as far as the strength of schedule-wise. But I do very much like his team. I said this from the very beginning. I did like the team. I thought that was probably the best Rain team I've ever seen, and he continues to prove me right in one department by his winning ways. And if he continues to win, then there's no way that he's going to drop below 1.
For sure. Well, honestly, guys, like that's it for power rankings. We want to try and make this a bit more clear and concise, because the thing at the end of the day is that I know that I tend to ramble on a lot. I've heard it from a lot of people. It hurts my feelings, but I understand it. And so we're trying to make these a bit more short, sharp, and shiny. If you enjoy that, then make sure you let us know by liking the video and also commenting down below about it. If you prefer maybe to be longer, then also let us know in the video. But we are going to try and make this a bit more short, sharp, and shiny. Anything you want to say before we close off, Trev?
Not much. Just, what you said. If you would rather them be, longer, then that's fine. Obviously, no matter what, they won't be as long as they were the last couple, the first few weeks. But they will, if you guys want them to be longer, they can be longer than this. But if you like the rapid fire type style that we did, then obviously, again, comment down below which one you prefer, and we will definitely take that into consideration for week 4.
Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Basically, from here on out, though, what we want you guys to do is go check out every single one of the coaches in the PPL's channels. Go check out their battles, subscribe to all of them. Then, once you've done that, come back here, subscribe to the PPL channel to check out more uploads. We have a great team of analysts this season. And if you want to, you can maybe check out all the analysts as well, because, I mean, some of them are pretty darn good at video uploads. Trev, does some spicy memes every now and then. So definitely recommend. But that's going to do it for us. Like I said, if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I think we're going to get out of here. This is Verd and Trev, and we'll catch you guys next week for some more power rankings.